Good morning. In the recent throne speech, the Ministry of Social Development and Sports outlined a number of areas that we intend to examine in the coming year. Today, I want to speak specifically about 4 throne speech initiatives that my ministry will work on during this legislative session. Amendment of the Children Act 1998. Under the Children Act 1998, the court has the power to appoint litigation guardian, if it deems it necessary to do so in order to safeguard the interest of children. Further, the Act provides the minister the ability to establish panels of persons from whom litigation guardians may be appointed. Government will review and enhance the use of litigation guardians in Bermuda. In a recent meeting with various charities that administer services to children hosted by the Attorney General, it was indicated that a framework for a panel of litigations will be developed, and participants were encouraged to submit briefs to the ministry expressing their views on how such a scheme should work in their view. The government will also consider the approach to administration of litigation guardians in other jurisdictions before determining a way forward. Government will also expand the duty of the Director of Child and Family Services to investigate cases of child abuse and neglect under the Act, since such cases can sometimes be masked or ignored, resulting in unnecessary harm to children. Drug abuse remains a significant issue in today's society. The recent concern expressed for the possible introduction of fentanyl into Bermuda is but one example of why it is important to reformulate government's policy on drug prevention, abuse, and treatment. The government believes that by preparing and publishing a green paper on Bermuda drug policies, the public will be encouraged to provide feedback on a range of these topics. The Department of National Drug Control will spearhead preparation of a green paper and will seek input from across government and the public sector at large. As the throne speech also notes, former governments have provided financial guarantees for wealthy sports competitions and tax exemptions for restaurants, nightclubs, and retailers. They have also provided loan guarantees for hotel construction and at-risk banks. This government believes that one of the ways to better utilize the government's financial influence is to make an investment in our society by assisting community and sporting clubs to become self-sufficient. We are looking at ways to achieve this initiative. To this end, an initial meeting was held with several community sports clubs on September the 7th at the Warwick Workmen's Club. The purpose of the meeting was to get early feedback from the clubs on what their needs might be in terms of facilities upgrading and/or youth programming. I must stress that what the government intends to do is to provide a loan guarantee, not a loan itself. Government is not a lending institution. We have not yet determined how much money will be made available via loan guarantees. This will depend on what the needs are. We have asked club representatives to provide information on what the needs are so that we can assess the range of loan guarantees that may be necessary. The current business model of many clubs does typically allow them to make investment in facilities and in programs for our youth. Some clubs have expressed concerns about their ability to repay loans. We will discuss these concerns and other factors and the structures agreements accordingly. There will likely be a cap on the size of the loan or loans of which government will issue a guarantee, but this remains to be determined. We believe the community as a whole will benefit from this initiative through the creation of jobs and possibly even new entrepreneurships. Additionally, this initiative can have a positive impact on youth development, since improved facilities may allow for expansion of youth programming at the different clubs, and we will encourage that. The Financial Assistance Program began over 15 years ago with the enactment of the Financial Assistance Act 2001. It was intended to ensure that individuals with insufficient financial resources have access to services in order to gain, maintain, or regain a minimum standard of living while encouraging personal and economic independence. The program was also developed to encourage the development of personal skills and resources so they didn't have to rely on financial assistance. The Financial Assistance Program has proven to be a lifeline for many of our people in the community. Unfortunately, over time, there's developed an over-reliance, and some may even say a culture of entitlement, amongst too many of those who receive financial assistance. Some persons remain on financial assistance for long periods of time, and this is certainly not what the program was designed for. At the same time, there's evidence that the way financial assistance is structured unfairly penalizes persons who have part-time jobs, since they find themselves unable to sustain their progress towards financial independence. We will examine that situation carefully and seek to make adjustments to policy and legislation so as to encourage people to wean off financial assistance and not remain on it forever. Therefore, government will undertake an initiative to reform the Financial Assistance Program, including both policy and legislation. For example, we will look at requiring able-bodied unemployed persons who are receiving assistance to upgrade their education skills to facilitate them returning to the workforce as soon as possible. We will also reach out to the corporate Bermuda to encourage funding support together with government so that able-bodied persons on financial assistance can get their GED and make themselves more job-ready. This will require a sincere collaborative effort between business and government, since it is well recognized that the current expenditure of over $50 million per year that government spends on financial assistance is unsustainable. $1 million a week that we spend on financial assistance, it's unsustainable. We can't continue.